Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are continuing with the chapter on evolution. We already have had two lectures on evolution, wherein we have discussed the theories of origin of life. Right now, पहले तो theories of origin था, and secondly we have discussed theories of evolution. Theories of evolution में we saw Lamarck's theory, then we saw Darwin's theory, Hugo de Vries theory, mutation, and then we saw the modern synthetic theory, वो तीन parts वाला. The third part that we would like to put forth today, we would like to discuss today, are what are evidences of evolution. What are the evidences of evolution? Right? Now we have three or four types of evidences. We have paleontological evidence, comparative anatomy. I'll just change my marker, please. We've got paleontological evidence, comparative anatomy, embryological evidence, and genetic evidence. Right now, paleontological evidence means fossil-based evidence, evidence on the basis of fossils. Right? Let's have a look at the different types of evidences. Obviously, we know what are fossils. Dead remains of plants and animals that were surviving on earth in the various geological layers of the earth, right? So now what are the different types of fossils? Right now, what are fossils? Fossils are really of three types: the actual remains of the organism. Right now, wherever the plants or animals die, their bodies will sink to the bottom of the sea. So the entire body or the hard parts, right now, they get surrounded by minerals and becoming a part of stone. So you actually find that part, or you can have a mold. Mold is, when you have an impression of a particular part on the oceanic floor, right now. So you have the shape or you have the mold. Mold में वो जो है वो impression आएगा, उसके अंदर you'll have minerals being collected. So no, you can take it out. And you have a cast, right now. As I told you, जब वो mold में you will have minerals being filled in, then it will be called as a cast. So actual remains can be classified as fossils, molds, and casts. Now, what are the different paleontological evidences? Now here we have connecting link. Now before connecting link, we would like to add, one point is that, when they wanted to find out fossils, so they started digging the layers of the earth. So what they discovered is the uppermost layer of the earth, right now, which is near the surface, has the fossils of the most recent organisms. And the lowermost layer of the earth has fossils of the most primitive, most simplest of organisms. So as you move layer by layer above, right now ये center of the earth है, ये उसके ऊपर का layer है, ये उसके ऊपर, right now when you move layer by layer, the fossils start getting more and more complex, indicating that slowly, gradually, simple organisms have developed into complex ones, and the most complex are formed on the uppermost layer. Right now, so this was the first fossil based evidence that they placed, which was in favor of evolution. Right now, the second paleontological evidence, fossil based evidence, which they gave was connecting link. Now, according to the Darwin's theory of evolution, right, evolution was a very slow process, and whatever changes were occurring in an organism, these minute changes were passed on to the next generation, right? So let's say generation 1 has got X characters. Generation 2 will have X plus 1, मतलब थोड़ा सा change आएगा, Now that x plus 1 will be carried out to the third generation wherein it will have one more. So अब third generation के बाद x plus 2 हो जाएगा. So the 100th generation now will have x plus 99. So now the characters which have gradually accumulated in the generations have become so many that the 100th generation is now distinctively different from the first generation. So it is classified as a different species. Right? अब ये 1 to 100 generation, I was just giving you a numerical example for clarification. ठीक है? तो अब now when you start the search of fossils, let's say you search a fossil which is showing characteristic of the first generation also and the 100th generation, right? ना एकदम theoretical example दे रहा हूं मैं. So this 50th generation wala fossil is actually a connecting link between the first and the 100th generation, and it will show features of both of them because it actually belongs to the first, but gradually it is going and developing towards the 100. So this fossil is called as a connecting link. So the the geologists, right now, they have been able to dig out and find out the connecting links between various phyla of animals. Right? Let's check. Connecting link is defined as an intermediate or a transitional stage between two organisms. It possesses structures common to both the groups, thus indicating evolutionary line. It is also called as missing link. Right? For example, Simoria is a connecting link between amphibians and reptiles. Ichthyostega was a missing link between fishes and amphibians, right? Now, so you can make note right now in sequence fish, amphibian, amphibian, reptile, right? So fish, amphibian में Ichthyostega, amphibian, reptile के अंदर it was Simoria, right? But the evidence which caught the attention of the scientists all over was the discovery of fossil of Archaeopteryx. Now, Archaeopteryx was a fossil which had two types of characters. Right now, it had reptilian characters and bird characters, aves characters, avian characters. Right? Jaws with homodont teeth. Right? Remember, birds do not have teeth. Right now, but reptilia, right now, amphibia, all of them come under gnathostomata, jaw wale vertebrates, right now. So jaw with homodont teeth, ribs with single hand, abdominal ribs, forearms which are modified into wings, 3 digits ending, right now. Claw is a feature of reptiles, hind digit having 4 digits, right now. And the feathery exoskeleton which you can see here was a feature of right, birds. Look at here, tooth beak, right now beak hai, that means the jaw has converted into a beak, right? But the reptilian character was present with tooth, like birds do not have teeth. So the presence of tooth, reptile, beak, birds, right? Jaws modified to beak, forelimbs modified to wing, limb bones have their first two opposable foot with clawed digits, right now. So what we've done is segregated the reptilian characters and the avian characters. So it is sharing both the characteristics, thereby establishing a link between the group of reptiles and birds, right? So Archaeopteryx. Now these are some connecting links which I have listed down here. You can make a note of them. Who knows, you might have a question on that, maybe a simple factual question. Okay. So this is about the first evidence which is connecting link, right? Sorry, paleontological. उसमें दो evidences मैंने बताया आपको, right? एक तो वो layer strata वाला, right ना? जैसे जैसे layer ऊपर जाते गया वैसे वैसे फॉसिल का कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी क्या हो गया, बढ़ता गया, राइट। और सेकंड कनेक्टिंग लिंक वाला एविडेंस, राइट। द सेकंड एविडेंस इज कंपैरेटिव एनाटॉमी, राइट। नाउ groups of animals, they share similarities and dissimilarities, right. Now how do you look at this from the point of view of evolution? Okay, now herein we have three types of organs: homologous, analogous, and vestigial organs. Take up all the three. Homologous organs are defined as those organs which are structurally similar but functionally dissimilar, right? देखो यहाँ पर example, the forelimb of man, right? We have studied the structure of the upper limb, got the humerus, radius ulna, right? Now we've got the carpal, metacarpal, phalanges. This is the structure. Now, if you look at the forelimb of a cat, or a flipper of a whale, or the wing of a bat, you will find the same structural pattern. The pattern, the structural pattern is the same, although the external appearance is different. And the functions are also different. Right now, forelimb of man is classified for working. Forelimb of a cat or a horse is for locomotion. The flipper of a whale obviously for swimming, and the wing of a bat for flying, right? मतलब यहाँ पर we are having organs which are structurally similar. That means they were from the ancestral same group. लेकिन जैसे जैसे अलग अलग एरिया को एक्सपोजर हुआ, अडेप्टेशन की वजह से एक्सटर्नल फीचर्स जो है वो डिफरेंट हो गए, एक्सटर्नली अपीयरेंस डिफरेंट हो गया, और उसका यूटिलिटी भी डिफरेंट हो गया अकॉर्डिंग टू द एनवायरमेंट इन विच द हैबिटेट इन विच द एनिमल वाज. Get that? So these organs are called as homologous organs, right? So what are homologous? Structurally similar but functionally dissimilar. Coming to the second group of organisms which are called as analogous organs. अच्छा, functional sorry, homologous में एक point मैं भूल गया, so sorry, right? Now if you are having the group, you know, from one ancestral stock, और उसमें से अलग अलग डायरेक्शन में सब जा रहे हैं, right? That means the evolution is occurring in a divergent fashion. So whenever you talk about homologous organs, you will talk about a divergent evolution, because ancestral stock तो same था, right? उसमें से diverge होके वो लोग अलग अलग हो गए, ठीक है? So homologous organs, divergent evolution. Coming to analogous organs, उल्टा, organs which are functionally dissimilar but structurally dissimilar but functionally similar, right? Homologous का एकदम उल्टा, right? Very easy example, compare the wing of an insect, let's say for example butterfly, right, to that of a bird. Now insect में, see, both have wings. Functionally, though, both can fly, right now. But here, the wing of an insect, in this case the butterfly, is an extension of the body wall. But in the bird, the wing is a modification of forelimb. मतलब दोनों wings है, लेकिन दोनों structurally अलग है. One is a modification of forelimb, one is an extension of the body wall. दोनों अलग अलग है, राइट ना? लेकिन फंक्शनली दोनों सेम है, दोनों का काम जो है फ्लाइंग, राइट ना? सो हियर वी say they are analogous in nature. They are analogous to each other. राइट ना. अब सी, insect is coming from one ancestral stock, right? Insect नॉन कॉर्डेट्स में आता है, आर्थ्रोपोडल, राइट. बर्ड एक अलग एंसेस्ट्रल स्टॉक से आता है, राइट. वर्टेब्रेट है वो भी अमंगस्ट हाई लेवल ऑफ वर्टेब्रेटा, क्लास एव्स, राइट. दोनों अलग अलग एंसेस्ट्रल स्टॉक से है. यानी अपने अपने एंसेस्ट्रल स्टॉक में जब ये दोनों डेवलप हुए तब वो डाइवर्जेंट एवोल्यूशन था, क्योंकि वो लोग एक पॉइंट से डेवलप हो रहे थे. तो अब मैं क्या कर रहा हूं, दो डाइवर्जेंट एवोल्यूशन को साथ में कंपेयर कर रहा हूं. एक डाइवर्जेंट के अंदर मेरे पास इंसेक्ट है, दूसरे के अंदर बर्ड है, लेकिन जब इन दोनों को कनेक्ट करता हूं तो आर दीज टू कन्वर्जिंग ऑन द सिमिलर फंक्शन ऑफ फ्लाइंग? Are they converging on the similar function of flying? So what kind of an evolution is analogous organ? It is convergent evolution. It is convergent evolution. Please friends, right now, homologous, divergent, analogous, convergent. Don't make this mistake, please. I have listed down the homologous and analogous which are there in the NCERT, and some of them which I found when setting papers and coming across questions from various books. So whatever I could get, I have listed down here so that it is a ready reference for you. You can please make a note of them, right? ना पहले वो connecting link वाला भी एक note था और ये भी एक note है. Questions can be asked based upon the pair of organs. ठीक है? I have included the NCERT examples also given. Right now we will, after we finish this discussion, we will go through the NCERT text also just to check, have an eye on the NCERT also. ठीक है? So are we clear about what are homologous and analogous organs? Yes, please. Okay. Next are vestigial organs. Right now the presence of the vestigial organ evolution से थोड़ा सा कम relation है, right ना, but significant in study. They are functionless organs, they are useless to the animals and their presence is not required. They continue to exist before they degenerate and disappear in the process of evolution, right? So they were functional in the previous ancestral stock and now they are not, thus indicating an evolutionary line. Right now herein only the examples of various vestigial organs is important for you to remember, and we all know cecum and appendix is there, the nictitating third eyelid, the coccyx or the tail vertebra. Again, I have tried what to do is make the list of vestigial organs for you so that it's ready for you to consume. ठीक है? So 3 types of organisms friends we've done. कौन सा organisms किया हम लोग ने? एक एनालॉगस, दूसरा होमोलॉगस और तीसरा वेस्टिजियल. तो जब होमोलॉगस है तो डाइवर्जेंट एवोल्यूशन, एनालॉगस है तो कन्वर्जेंट एवोल्यूशन. The third evidence is embryological evidence. Embryological evidence. Right now, what is this embryological evidence? थोड़ा सा far sighted है, लेकिन maybe some okay for it was ultimately it was discarded, but it's actually very humorous. Now, according now this biogenetic law with respect to embryological evidence, it stated that ontogeny repeats phylogeny. Ontogeny repeats phylogeny. Now ontogeny is developmental biology. Right now when you study development of an organism right from the stage of embryo up to the maximum development, उसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, right ना, embryo का stage पूरा gestation वाला, उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं, right ना, ontogeny. Phylogeny किसको बोलते हैं हम लोग, right ना? Phylogeny is whatever organisms are there in the ancestral stock of evolution, right? For example, let's say we're talking about humans, hypothetical, ekdam hypothetical. We're talking about humans, right now. Let's say organism A changes to B, changes to C, changes to man, right now. So A, B, and C are the phylogeny of man. So whatever is in the evolutionary line of an organism, उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं phylogeny. So what is this biogenetic law stating is that जब किसी organism का ontogeny होता है, यानी कि embryo level, right ना, एकदम basic level से development होता है, तो पूरे जो gestation वाला stage है, उसमें various phylogenetic stages are covered. So at one point it will resemble A, at one point it will resemble B, फिर C, और फिर जो develop होगा is man. So ontogeny development repeats phylogeny. This was the theme which was behind this kind of an evidence. Ultimately, it was rejected. Right? This is the reference text for that. You can go through it. ठीक है? So अपना तीन टाइप के एविडेंस हुए अपने. Paleontological evidence, fossil based evidence. Second, कौन सा एविडेंस था? Comparative anatomy, homologous, analogous, vestigial. और तीसरा, what is embryological evidence? Right now, we find the mention of all three of them in the NCERT. We will point that out in a moment. Now, ये हार्डी वेनबेक प्रिंसिपल हम लोग जो है वो करेंगे, नेक्स्ट टाइम करेंगे, अभी नहीं करना है अपने को, पूरा अलग ही टॉपिक है वो. एक छोटा टॉपिक दिया हुआ है एनसीईआरटी में called as adaptive radiation. Now, since it is related to that divergent and convergent evolution, we will pick this up topic in this session itself. Now, when Darwin, right now, Darwin had made a stop at which island? Galapagos Island, right? When he was on that voyage. Now, he discovered a bird which is a finch. The bird was called as finch. Now, in different areas of the island, he found that the finches were having different structure of the beak. Right? I'll show you. ये देखो. Right? So here the beak is modified to eat leaves. Here it is modified to eat buds and fruit. You see the modification. Right? So that led Darwin to think that on the same island, how can you have different types of finches, right? They're since structurally अलग है, species change हो गया. तो बोले नहीं, ये ओरिजिनल जब मेनलैंड से आया होगा तो एक ही होगा, एक ही इसमें से डेवलप हुआ. अब चूंकि वो आइलैंड इतना बड़ा था, तो वहां पर देयर वर अ लॉट ऑफ माउंटेन्स, वैलीज, राइट ना, रिवर्स, राइट ना. सो ही concluded that it is geographical isolation जो isolate कर रहा है और species को नया develop कर रहा है. Now, since he concluded that there was a central organism, single organism from which different species have developed, he used the term adaptive radiation. We understand its similarity to divergent evolution. Divergent evolution. राइट ना. सो इसको उसने बताया अडेप्टिव रेडिएशन. क्या लिखा है देखो, प्रोसेस ऑफ एवोल्यूशन व्हिच रिजल्ट्स इनटू ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ऑफ अ ओरिजिनल स्पीशीज टू मेनी डिफरेंट वैरायटीज इज कॉल्ड अडेप्टिव रेडिएशन. राइट ना. वो कैंगरू वाला एग्जांपल हम लोग आ रहे थोड़ी देर में एकदम. फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट्स अडेप्टिव रेडिएशन विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस डायग्राम प्लीज. राइट. So this is adaptive radiation. So adaptive radiation in itself is a divergent process, as you can see immediately clearly from the diagram. ठीक है. अब देखो कौन सा एग्जाम्पल रख रहा है एनसीईआरटी. इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया, kangaroo is the most known marsupial animal, pouched marsupial mammal. There are many other marsupial mammals that have evolved from a common ancestor. Now tell me please. यानी एक कॉमन एंसेस्टर था, उसमें से अलग अलग मार्सूपियल मैमल्स डेवलप हुए. तो ये कौन सा प्रोसेस हो गया? अडेप्टिव रेडिएशन. और चूंकि सेंट्रल एक ऑर्गेनिज्म था और सब उसमें से अलग अलग डेवलप हो रहे थे, तो ये एवोल्यूशन कौन सा था? डाइवर्जेंट एवोल्यूशन था। ठीक है, प्लीज बी वेरी अटेंटिव। नाउ adaptive radiation क्या लिखे को? The process of evolution of different species in a given geographical area, starting from a point and literally radiating to other parts of the geography. So island पे एक central organism finch, but radiating, distributing themselves in different parts of the island, is called adaptive radiation. Darwin's finches represent one of the best examples of this phenomenon. Now, another example is Australian marsupials. A number of marsupials, each different from the other, evolved from an ancestral stock, but all within the Australian island continent. This is the adaptive radiation for marsupial. ये NCERT का diagram again. So can you see a central marsupial organism? उसमें से ये सारे marsupials develop हुए. The most well known of that is kangaroo. Right? अब यहां पे डायग्राम, उसके नेक्स्ट पेज पे यू हैव दिस डायग्राम, अ लिस्ट ऑफ ऑस्ट्रेलियन मार्सुपियल्स अलोंगसाइड लिस्ट ऑफ प्लासेंटल मैमल्स। अब जो बोल रहा हूं ध्यान से सुनना। ऑस्ट्रेलियन मार्सुपियल्स कैसे डेवलप हुए हैं? बाय अडेप्टिव रेडिएशन। उनका अडेप्टिव रेडिएशन कहां हुआ है? ऑस्ट्रेलियन कॉन्टिनेंट में। ठीक है, प्लासेंटल मैमल्स का डेवलपमेंट भी अडेप्टिव रेडिएशन से ही हुआ है। मतलब इनके लिए भी एक सेंट्रल फिगर था, फिर जो है वो उसमें से अलग अलग ऑर्गेनिजम्स वेंट इनटू डिफरेंट एरियाज ऑफ दैट ऑस्ट्रेलियन कॉन्टिनेंट। राइट, मतलब ये भी एक अडेप्टिव रेडिएशन का एग्जाम्पल है। तो अब अपने पास एक आइसोलेटेड ज्योग्राफिकल एरिया है, आइसोलेटेड ज्योग्राफिकल एरिया है ऑस्ट्रेलिया। राइट ना, कॉन्टिनेंट भी है, आइलैंड भी है। डू वी हैव टू एग्जांपल्स ऑफ अडेप्टिव रेडिएशन इन द सेम ज्योग्राफी नाउ? आर दे इन द सेम ज्योग्राफिकल एरिया? टू अडेप्टेशन, राइट ना, एक अडेप्टिव रेडिएशन, एक ऑस्ट्रेलियन मार्सुपियल्स का, एक प्लासेंटल मैमल्स का। Right? Read the statement now. When more than one adaptive radiation appeared to have occurred in an isolated geographical area, उस geographical area में अलग अलग habitats होने चाहिए, one can call this convergent evolution. One can call this convergent evolution. Right ना? तो अब have a look at this image. प्लासेंटल मैमल में से मोल और ऑस्ट्रेलियन मार्सुपियल में से मार्सुपियल मोल, ये एक अलग स्टॉक का है, ये एक अलग स्टॉक का है, बट दीज आर कन्वर्जिंग ऑन द कैरेक्टर्स। सो अब ये दोनों के बीच में कन्वर्जेंट एवोल्यूशन, एंटीटर एंड नम्बैट विच इज ऑल्सो एन एंटीटर, इन दोनों के बीच में कन्वर्जेंट एवोल्यूशन है हियर। सो अकॉर्डिंगली वी हैव कन्वर्जेंट एवोल्यूशन। Right now, so please understand this diagram very properly, and you can have a number of confusing questions based on this table itself. Right, you can have the diagram of a particular organism, label the diagram, identify the diagram. Right now, maybe one from a placental, one from Australia, or you know what kind of evolution exists between these two organisms, so that you can identify. देखिए नहीं, तो एक तुमको मार्सुपियल मोल दे दिया और मार्सुपियल माउस दे दिया, तो दोनों के बीच में कौन सा एवोल्यूशन आएगा? उसमें डाइवर्जेंट आएगा कि ये एक ही स्टॉक के हैं, लेकिन एक यहां से एक यहां से आया तो कौन सा आ जाएगा? कन्वर्जेंट एवोल्यूशन आ जाएगा। राइट ना, सो ये डाइवर्जेंट और कन्वर्जेंट वाला इशू जो है ना, प्लीज अगर जरूरत पड़े तो यू प्लीज यू नो लिसन टू द एक्सप्लेनेशन अगेन। राइट ना, मेक अ पॉज इन द वीडियो, प्लीज see the notes, see the NCERT also, please. Right, so I hope this adaptive radiation wala topic is very clear to you. Right, very quickly we will go through the NCERT and see what are they giving us. ओके, देखो व्हाट आर एविडेंसेस फॉर एवोल्यूशन. अब यहां पर फॉसिल्स है. Okay, we have fossils, remaining remains of hard parts, sediments, cross section, different age rock sediments contain. Right now, क्या लिया है देखो, a study of fossils in different sedimentary layers indicates the geological period in which they existed. The study showed that life forms varied over time and certain life forms are restricted to certain geological time periods. Right now, so you will have placement of certain organisms only in certain strata. Right, here they are not talking about connecting link notes में से अपने पिकअप किया है. फिर सेकंड एम्ब्रियोलॉजिकल सपोर्ट है, राइट, प्रपोज्ड बाय अर्नस्ट हेकल, राइट ना, based on observation of certain features during embryonic stage common to all vertebrates that are absent in adult. पूरा ontogeny के बारे में बात है ये, right. The proposal was disapproved on careful study performed by von Baer, right ना. So ये दो नाम इंपॉर्टेंट है. फिर कंपैरेटिव एनाटॉमी, फिर तुम्हारा आ गया होमोलॉगस एंड एनालॉगस. देखो पहले डाइवर्जेंट एवोल्यूशन और स्ट्रक्चर्स आर होमोलॉगस विद डिफरेंट एग्जांपल्स, and then they are talking about analogous structures, a result of convergent evolution. Right, we have discussed at length what is divergent and what is convergent. Okay. Sorry. Okay, now यहां पर सी अगेन, ये वो लास्ट टाइम हमने डिस्कस किया बिस्टन बेटुलारिया मॉथ वाला, नेचुरल सिलेक्शन में जो एग्जांपल इंडस्ट्रियल मेलानिज्म का एग्जांपल डिस्कस किया था हमने, वो पूरा यहां पर डिस्कस किया हुआ है, देखो, राइट ना. सो प्लीज रीड दिस and if you have any query you can please ask me the doubt. Then what is adaptive radiation? पूरा adaptive radiation यहाँ पर आया गया है. adaptive radiation, and देखो more than one adaptive radiation appear to have occurred in an isolated geographical area. One can call this as convergent evolution, right now. This diagram we have done here now, right. So what we have done is 7.3 7.4 हमने डिस्कस किया है आज, right. We will also talk about biological evolution and then we'll talk about Hardy-Weinberg बाकी है, and then last में evolution of animals, plants and human beings, right. That is remaining for us to discuss, right. Okay, thank you all. Thank you so much, everybody.